Hi there, this is Anand once again. Thank you for watching the previous set of videos that I posted on various types of contracts and sales contracts. Today, I'm going to talk to you about another very, very important set of contracts which have to do with procurement. Now, whether you are in the financial services industry, whether you are in the manufacturing industry, whether you're in services or any other type of industry, procurement represents a large part of your costs. Keeping these costs in control is one of the most important aspects of any company. Any CFO would tell you that controlling costs is the number one priority for him or her. And these procurement contracts are essentially the basis on which any kind of procurement is carried out. There are three distinctive characteristics about procurement contracts which are not so in pretty much any other type of contracts. Number one, they are very, very complex. We have companies where there are more than 500 unique combinations which have to be catered to. Second important characteristic is that they are extremely disparate in terms of their and the way they are managed. So you could have a whole lot of templates for different types of contracts. You could have dozens of standard templates, and most of your vendors, particularly if they are big vendors, would insist on specific templates for their own organizations. So that increases the complexity quite dramatically. And the third, and perhaps the most important from a financial standpoint, is the fact that procurement contracts represent liability for the company. So if they're not managed well, or if they're not considered well at the time of setting up, you could have potentially high liabilities in the future. So take an example of a manufacturing company which caters to, let's say, a beverage sector, food and beverage sector. You could have specific contracts for a type of sugar, or you could have for a type of raw material which is very, very unique and may be supplied by only a few key vendors. You have to make sure that your alignment with the vendor is perfect. Otherwise, you could potentially end up with costs which could be maybe eating into your profits to the extent of 5 to 10% even. The third thing that I refer to in terms of liability is also important because whenever there is a contract of a very large value, the number of approval steps and the number of due diligence steps that need to be catered to have to be taken into account before the contract is actually operationalized. Of course, like any other contracts, it is important to track what kind of alerts need to be sent out for expiring contracts, what kind of approval processes need to be followed, what kind of external processes that need to be followed. For example, if you're buying a restricted item from some country, then it's likely that you may need to take certain approvals for intergovernment transfers or for maybe handling those materials. Those also need to be catered to in the contract and have to be taken into account while going through the approval cycle. So these, in short, are what make up procurement contracts. We have had some very, very interesting experiences with the procurement contracts, wherein we have been able to cut the time of managing the contract life cycle substantially by almost 95%. But more importantly, we have been able to show actual savings on account of the fact that you're able to track the trends of prices, the trends of contract cycle movements, as well as things like foreign exchange rates. If you want to know more, please get in touch with us, and we'll be happy to get in touch with you again and explain to you how we can help. In my next video, I'm going to talk about other different types of contracts. And then finally, I'll wrap up this series by talking about what you can do as an organization to make sure that you're digitally connected in the contracts environment.